Hello, Dmitry. Nice to see you again, and thank you for joining me today. How are you doing?
Hello, Gohar. Thank you for inviting me. I'm doing really well, and I'm happy to participate in this podcast.
My pleasure to have you as my guest today. First thing first, let's start from your journey a little bit, the leadership journey especially. How has your own leadership approach at EvenBet Gaming evolved over the years?
I started many years ago, and I don't have any education to be a CEO or any business administration education or management education. So back in the days, I didn't know anything about being a CEO and its role and what should be within the focus of CEO. So like many others, I was learning based on my mistakes, trials and mistakes. And it was very tactical. I was very involved in every technical and operational details. Like I knew every single aspect of the company. But as we were growing, I realized that as a CEO, I can be the smartest person in the room. I need to hire other people who are probably much smarter than me. And my role is to build the room for them to be creative and to find right people and create like proper environment for them to bloom within the company, to provide, to give maximum performance, to empower their vision. So like my approach shifted from control to empowerment. Today, my role is more about vision, about inspiring people, about synchronization within the company to be on the same page. And that's it. The rest is up to my team. I'm just defining like where but how I'm trying to delegate as much possible to my team.
How many team members do you have currently?
260 at the moment, 260, and we are still growing.
Still much place to grow, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but this growth should be in line with appropriate growth of revenue,
Absolutely, yeah, of course, and I understand. I remember you describing being a CEO as a process, not a destination. What does that philosophy mean to you personally?
It means that acceptance, there is no finishing line. So, like, if you think that right now you have done everything as a leader, you are a proper leader, and at the same moment you are started to stagnate. So there is always room for improvement, and there is always room to be humble and hungry. So it means it's never-ending process. So, and every success is just a step for the next challenge, and every mistake is data point to analyze and improve. So, like it's a practice. It's never-ending practice, lifetime practice. The goal is to perform better today and then perform better tomorrow.
Exactly. You have to have all the time the stability inside the team and the industry, but have also to implement some reinventions here. Was there a specific moment for you when you realized that leadership requires constant reinvention rather than stability?
Yeah, like few years ago when I started finally some kind of business education, and I started looking around for more practices and understanding about running a business and being a business leader. I found out that, to be honest, like one of the key skills of company and leaders, it's to be adaptive, to be able to change. Key role of CEO is to manage these changes. As long as you are changing and your company is changing, you are alive, you are afloat. As long as you stop these changes and you are like on the plateau, this moment you're going down, because market is changing. The market every day is moving left, right. There's headwind, there's tailwind. So there's no stability. And being able to navigate in this stability is like essential. So, but sometimes we feel like there's stability, but it's an illusion. And we learned this from through crises. When crises hit us, we understand there is no stability, and then we can remember about our industry, like mobile gaming, crypto. The regulation changed, and there is a growth, there is a cooling down. So, like, we need to always be in motion to stay afloat.
Now, actually, it is driven by genuine curiosity. And I wonder what makes a reinvention intellectually exciting for you.
I always been a problem solver at my heart. For me, reinvention is like high-stake puzzle. It's to stimulate intellectually, to look at the successful business model and ask, how can we break this and reinvent and build something better? So, like, it's always nice to ask what if and explore how emerging technologies or shifts in player behavior can be turned into competitive advantages.
Do you actively seek out perspectives that contradict your own thinking? How important is that growth for you?
Absolutely. Intellectual complacency is a great risk to any innovative company. I deeply value teams members who challenge my assumptions. If everyone in the room agrees with me, like, we are unthinking hard enough, it's kind of first sign of like something going wrong, So growth happen only at the points of friction. So where we actively seek our different opinion from our C-level team. Once we have some disagreement, I feel that here it is. Here's a point of change, of growth, and here we can find some new ideas.
That's very impressive, actually, to have all the opinions of the all team members, regardless the part of the team, like the marketing, not also the marketing, but also the departments and parts of the team, because there might be an idea that maybe you have missed sometimes, and you can just implement it, and it might work very well.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Can you share an example with us where maybe shifting your viewpoint helped you discover an opportunity that others may have missed?
I think it's happening now. Now our industry is getting through serious change in the market of the competitive landscape, understanding that there is no more game of substantial growth. It's not anymore a game of having a few big customers and writing them every month big checks, but it's a game now of efficiency and ability to serve thousands of B2B customers and maybe tens of millions of players, and ability to make very little from each of them and still being able to make money and to be profitable. It's kind of big shift in the industry, and not everyone is like feeling this change now. And I think that everybody needs to shift this viewpoint from leave this in the past when we were able to enjoy growth and sweet money, focus on changing our business models to like more mass business model, more efficient business models. And I believe it's really helping us as a company to get opportunity on the market, which other might miss.
Absolutely, yeah. You have mentioned the idea of adaptability quotient. What does that mean, and how can leaders recognize whether they truly have it or not?
Nowadays, as we discussed in our industry, adaptability is becoming more as a survival skill than just a leadership advantage. So at CEO level, adaptability is ability to decouple your ego from your strategy. It's a courage to admit that plan that you have in mind, that you built from the scratch and spent months or maybe years, it's no longer relevant and you need to leave it behind, because the market has changed drastically. So it's kind of maintaining a higher peripheral vision, in my opinion, amazing ability to see trends coming from outside your immediate industry, from other industry. You pivot them before they hit you.
Can you share a moment when rapid market change forced you to rethink your strategy sometimes?
For many years, we had been a software powerhouse and we had enjoyed growing markets, and we didn't feel any lack of customers without any marketing, any sales, anything. But suddenly, 2011, US market completely closed down overnight. It was Friday. We lost completely our clients base over the night, and we had to rethink our strategy. First of all, we had to start exploring other geographical markets, and we had to start heavily invest into marketing and sales team that we had never had done before. Everything was absolutely new for us. Building a sales team, invest into marketing, go into exhibitions. It was like not easy to do, but we did this swift enough to be able to adapt to the new market conditions and survive through this tough time, and to rebuild our company business processes to like being a full B2B provider with marketing and sales and customer support team.
Yeah, so here comes again the adaptability and the risk of change to actually change completely the strategy from the one you used to implement to completely another to survive. So that's very impressive. Thank you for sharing that story. I want to bring a little bit focus on leadership velocity and versus company longevity. Do you believe there is a direct link between the speed of CEO growth, personal growth, and the lifespan of the company? Can you explain that connection somehow?
Yeah, 100%. We also discussed this already a bit in other questions. So like company is always reflection of its leader. So if a CEO stops learning, stops changing, the company's innovation ceiling drops. I call this leadership velocity. So when the world evolves faster than the leadership, the result disconnects inevitably leads to a fatal loss of relevance. So the company's lifespan is essentially the time it takes for the market to outpace the leader's ability to adapt. So as we discussed, once we start changing slower than the market is changing, then we lose the grip. So it's inevitable to always at least to be able to change at the market speed, but to be a real market leader, to win the game, leaders and companies should be much faster in their changes than the whole market.
What kind of advice would you give to the leaders, especially the CEOs who have just started maybe their career as a CEO and a leader? What practical habits can you advise them to implement for the increase of their own leadership velocity?
For many years, I had been ignoring business education. What I can recommend to all the leaders to expand horizon, to see other industries, to see business cases. It's inevitable to, from time to time, to go learn something new from business schools, or it should not be only business schools. It could be different ways of education, but it's important to devote some percentage of your time for education in different forms. It's very important to because usually we are in our daily life and daily duties, and we are deeply in operations, and within our business, and we have sometimes very narrow, tunnel vision that reduces our ability to change, to adapt. And then once we step out and go and talk with other people, and because, for example, this business education, most inevitable most important part of the business education is to ability to talk with other businesses, with other leaders, and listen their stories, how they solved similar problems, how they deal with this or that business case, and try to bring this experience to your work and to improve your way of doing business. So again, as we discuss, ability to change is kind of number one skill of a leader. And within this ability, education is also kind of inevitable.
Absolutely. I will remember this as well for myself. Thank you. And also one more question that I haven't actually prepared for you, but I'm genuinely curious about your career and journey. Can you share one interesting story from all your journey in iGaming industry? Also, by the way, not only in iGaming industry, but one interesting story that you will never forget.
For example, the first 𝗲𝗃, we participated in 2015 when we invented our brand, and we decided that we need to go to 𝗲𝗃 and start being on this show. We created our stands ourselves, and we didn't hire any single construction company to create our stand. We brought everything for our stand with us in luggage, and build up our stand, just three of us, and it was very simple, very simple and maybe very ugly stand. Somewhere at the end of some like farthest corner of the show with very little traffic. But anyway, we got first leads, first clients from this show. And then most important, we understood that the exhibition rocks, that it's really like a rocking instrument, because I had a lot of doubts about like participating there because it's expensive, it's not easy. But even with these ugly stands, we gained some customers, some first leads and prospects, and we gained some business. And this is how we started investing more into marketing, and we decided to rebook next year. And then next year for sure we were already like went with stand builder and so forth.
Wow, that's very impressive. That's where it all started. So now the industry also knows that EvenBet Gaming team has the ability to even build stands in exhibitions. Wonderful. Very nice story. Thank you for sharing it. And also thank you for being my guest once again. It was a pleasure talking to you, and hope to see you soon on another series.
Thank you for being with me. Thank you for hosting. It was a very interesting interview. I really enjoyed.
Thank you so much. See you all soon on other series. Stay with us.